Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Friday, November 15th, 2024 by Gaia Blooming. I'm Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I find balance between my shadow and my inner light. Okay, so we got two big things today, and keeping in mind, probably the biggest thing is this Pluto shift moving in. The combination of these three things, which is Saturn going direct today in Pisces, a full moon today in the sign of Taurus, and Pluto moving into Aquarius in just 4 days, it's a lot. This full moon is also a lot because it is connected to Uranus. It's 1 degree off from Uranus, and Uranus with a full moon can definitely spike the energies big time. I think it's no coincidence that Saturn is going direct amidst these things, because even though it's in Pisces, Saturn's like, keep your karma in check, keep yourself in check, be in your flow, watch your emotions. Saturn's like, I'm watching you, I'm here, don't forget me, I'm here. So Saturn's here. Saturn going direct, unless you have anything that's directly connected to where Saturn is, or if you're a Capricorn, a sensitive Capricorn, you may not necessarily feel the directness. I'm getting a Santa Claus song. He sees you when you're waking. He knows when you're asleep. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. I'm getting that in regards to the Saturn energy going direct today. And it's probably because this moon could be violent. So when I looked at the Sabian symbol, I was like, the essence of it was savage. The essence of it was, I'm going to use my own words, my own phrasing, a fierce Native American riding with scalps on, hanging from his belt, so to speak. And what it speaks of is more relevant, just the savagery that we have within ourselves. And that's part of the shadow that we don't necessarily always like to look at, but it's there. It also took me, when I read that, to the fact that, so much of how we decide what happens in this world is unfortunately decided with violence. I would like off that timeline, like I'm ready to be done with it. But a lot of that also comes from fear. And I feel like that fear is still being pumped into the world, into the minefields. And we have to be very aware of where we react, where we react from fear with savagery, right? It took me to the end of the scope where I always say there's more than enough love in the world for all of us, right? When I say that, I say this every once in a while to remind people, this means there's more than enough food, there's more than enough land, there's more than enough people to fall in love with, there's more than enough money in the world, there's more than enough job opportunities, there's more than enough. We live in such an abundant planet. There's the Taurus. We live on such an abundant Taurus. Okay, we're going to go with it. We live on such an abundant Taurus planet. Planet Earth. So abundant, so beautiful. And yet we can get so caught up into the fear. And that's the Scorpio. And so in this energy, be aware of that. Now, what I was also feeling in this call to harmony, this full moon is at 24 degrees, which is a 6. And 6 energy calls us to be in harmony. So what came up with that as well was how the divide and conquer has been working really overtime lately. And just watch where that's happening in your life. This doesn't mean that sometimes we don't need some boundaries, right? Sun in Scorpio is like, sometimes we need to put a boundary. But watch where we're dividing, because we're better together. That's the song that was playing until Santa Claus popped in. We're better together. And it's important to know that. And it's important to know that there is some level of balancing that is attempting to happen right now. It's a little bit like a seesaw, but there is balance happening on this spiritual level. And again, all of us need to come play our part. Now, this full moon being conjunct Uranus, what does that mean for us as individuals? Uranus is an evolver. Uranus helps us liberate ourselves. Uranus can bring some of that breakdown, breakthrough, evolution, revolution. There's always a breakthrough. Did I get a breakthrough card? I don't think so. I think I had a breakthrough card on an earlier reading that I'm thinking of. No breakthrough in here, but it doesn't mean there's not a breakthrough out there with this energy. It really is tuning into yourself, recognizing what's triggering you right now is where there's healing being called for you. Definitely a call to stop, drop, and roll. Slow down, get grounded. Uranus can bring on accidents. And I think a lot of times these accidents happen because we're not being grounded, because we're not paying attention to our body, because we're rushing, we're not honoring our nervous system, which can get spiked from the full moon, and Uranus kind of doubles that. And I think we're all kind of on edge just from these other energies going on as well, right? That Pluto finishing up, it's definitely spiking some energies within all of us. So taking time to ground, taking time to connect with the earth is going to be part of your personal revolution, evolution in and through this. Now, especially if you have anything at 24 or 25 degrees, whether it's Scorpio, Aquarius, Leo, or anywhere around there, you especially may be feeling these energies. Just be aware of that. And keep in mind the Saturn. So, what else is happening besides this full moon? We have the full moon. I didn't even tell you what time. 1:28 p.m. Pacific time is the time of the full moon. The moon reaches its conjunction with Uranus at 3:32 p.m. Pacific time. And then we're still going to be feeling it into Saturday because we're going to have the Sun-Uranus opposition 6:45 p.m. Saturday. So this energy isn't going to just like end with the full moon. I always talk about the full moon over like afterwards, getting a little sleepy, getting a little snoozy. With this Uranus energy, that tired, wired peakedness may continue. So just be really aware, just keep grounding. And I'll tell you that when I can't sleep due to any of these energies, I do my best to rest anyway. And I tell my body I'm getting the rest that I need, even if I'm not full on sleeping. And it really does help. What your mind says about whatever really does help. As the moon continues on in Taurus, it will connect to Neptune a little later in the evening. You may get some lazy cat. You could get some impressive downloads in this energy. So pay attention to that. The moon will then also connect with Pluto late in the evening. This is the last time moon in Taurus, Pluto in Capricorn are trining, but it may bring up some issues, some shadows around money, understanding your talents, and your personal gifts. Any and all of that could come up. Anytime Pluto engages, it can bring that energy. Also, speaking of the tired and wired, the moon is also going to move into Gemini late in the evening, early on Saturday. Between that and the sun connecting with Uranus, again, we might be feeling a little frenetic. It's probably the best word for this. So these energies are interesting. Now, I do want to go back to Saturn direct in Pisces. It's going direct at 12 degrees in Pisces. Again, unless you have something or you're very Saturn sensitive, like a Capricorn, for instance, you may not necessarily feel this going direct, but this is going to push Saturn all the way through the sign of Pisces and into Aries. It is going to be back and forth into Pisces, but like, here we go. Like, Saturn is getting ready to move. It may be a little impatient because we have all these retrogrades coming in, and it's going to take Saturn its own time to get moving, but do be aware of that. So let's look at these cards. We're going to start here. So I pulled this card again, Storm Angel, that I pulled yesterday with the lightning. So this is still being applied. But I was like, I don't want to pull the same exact card. Can I have another card? And this really applies too. It's Nautilus Princess, and it's powerful personal growth. And it speaks in the card about being afraid of power because being afraid to misuse power. And I really liked the last line of it. Dignity, truth, and wisdom are your best guides as you take yourself and your potential, your power potential, seriously. So be aware of this. Again, this is definitely connected to all of these energies, but definitely feeling connected to that Pluto direct on the 19th, just a few days away. Astro-wise, with the cards, I love this one, the card of vision. And the full moon's a time where we can, like, hopefully harvest the good that we've been putting out into the world. What have you been putting out in the world for the last 6 months that you feel like harvesting right now, that you feel you are deserving of right now? This is the also the Hanged Man card, and so hold the vision, even if you don't feel like it's arriving quite yet. Sometimes maturity, the maturity of things, takes a little time. You're still the creator. Hold your light. Be strong in your power to move through this. Projections and we are the world. This feels like what I was talking about in regards to the fears. Clear your energy. Be really aware when you suddenly feel something other than you. It's really good to get a hold of, like, what you and your neutral feels like. Because when something comes in, we can be like, ah, I feel that. That's off. Okay, there's some connection to me because here I am. It's magnetized, there we go. Magnetized itself to me. I feel this Mercury retrograde coming in. It is playing with my words. It's magnetized itself to me. So there's a part of me to clear this energy and to be aware of in here. But it's really good, again, to know you're neutral. So when those energies come in, you're like, ah, I see it. I feel it. Let's work with this. And I feel like this with We Are the World is just a reminder, like, we're all kind of feeling these energies. We're all being affected by Uranus. We get it in different ways. We get the breakthrough in different ways. Try to be kind. Try to be kind. Because this divide and conquer thing, it's not really for us, even if we think so. So, gonna leave that there for today. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. And the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for all of us. You have the power. And remember who you are. For you and me, we are the solution. Namaste.